and welcome to Media MD, your weekly dose of media that you have somehow missed. I'm Reuben Morehouse.
And I'm Elliot Diebold.
Oh, and this fortnight, Elliot, I have a song in my heart.
Okay.
And that song is... it's called... Beautiful.
Okay.
This bit has gone very well.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going with this. What are we... Because you're bringing something this week, right? Where do we go there?
And I'm bringing a musical, and that's why I dreamed up that ill-conceived bit at the start of this episode. That's right, it's time to ring the new media format alarm. Ding, ding, ding. It's been a while since we've had one of those.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask if we've done a musical before, but okay.
No, I don't think we have.
Question not asked and answered, so...
I'm ahead of you. Yeah, so musicals, they're a thing. What do you think of them in general?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing that since I was a little kid. Like I used to be in plays like Oliver and stuff as a young teenager at school, and used to go watch them with my family. I'd say I'm not like a huge like Broadway person or anything, but I'm like one of those people who goes to most of the Marvel movies, but then walks out before the after credit scenes. Like that's my level of Broadway obsessionness. Sure.
So you don't hang around to get signed stuff after the show, but you go and check them out.
No, but I enjoy them while I'm there.
Well, this musical ain't no High School Musical, Elliot.
Oh, well then, this is a non-starter.
It's a musical called Heathers, and it takes place in a high school.
Okay. Yeah, well, because so you're bringing me Heathers, right?
Yeah.
And I know that because I got the tickets.
Yeah, because you can see the name of this episode.
And yeah, I mean, all I know about this is the poster I saw when I was buying the tickets, which had lollipops on it and said something about teenage angst. I can't remember the exact phrase now, but
yep, that sounds about right. That's
literally all I know going in.
Well, that's all you need to know. This is a musical, and because that's all you need to know, let's stop the episode here. No, this is a musical from, I think, 2010, that's based on a kind of cult classic movie from 1998. The movie also called Heathers, starring Winona Ryder and Kristen
Because that seems to be a
Slater.
bit of a thing at the moment on Broadway, right? Is doing movies and turning them into musicals. That's all the rage.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of people think this movie is kind of like a proto Mean Girls. And I was doing some research before we recorded, and it turns out that they've just debuted a Mean Girls musical as well. So,
well, I mean, a comparison to Mean Girls is a good sign. Like that's got me pretty excited going in.
Right. So it's
a fantastic film.
I mean, we can talk about the movie to start off with.
Okay.
It's like a high school drama, coming of age story kind of deconstruction thing, similar to Mean Girls, I'd say. It's kind of like a comedy, kind of a drama. Murder is in it quite a fair amount. It's a fun movie. It's a good movie.
Okay.
This musical is not along the same. I mean, it's based on the same. It's based on the movie, but it takes a different tone. It takes a musical tone, and yes, that's a play on words. But also, it takes on this tone that musicals have of like heightened ridiculousness, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it sounds like the original movie had a bit of that, because just going from your classic teenage coming of age story to suddenly lots of murder kind of sounds like they'd already gone pretty extreme. So I guess you can just run with that.
Yeah, but I'd say the movie takes itself more seriously than the musical does. And I like musicals, but this is a thing that musicals do, right? They're kind of inherently a ridiculous format. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a so bad it's good kind of thing, but it kind of has this same, like, it's there to have fun. It's not there to, break new ground of, like, amazing character, drama, or whatever, right?
Yeah, sure. Because when you're talking about stuff like that, I'm thinking of, like probably the most serious stage musical I've seen would be, like, Wicked or something. Which is obviously trying to tell some sort of emotional story, as well as sort of satire, bits of Oz and stuff. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw that.
But even Wicked is not a serious musical. I mean, it has like dramatic elements, but it's very ridiculous, I would say.
I think like a musical has to be, because like if it wasn't, then you just have like a musical that was full of really like depressing songs, and like that.
Exactly.
Nobody would want that.
I think there are some musicals that are kind of pushing into the more serious, like highbrow style of theatricality, but Heathers is definitely not one of them.
Okay.
Heathers is probably my favorite musical, and I watch a fair amount of musicals. Heathers is a great musical. It's just ridiculous. It's just a bonkers fun ride, you know? Yeah, it's got great songs. It's funny. It's got a plot that has it like works in cliches of high school kind of drama tropes, but deconstructs them and then kind of goes in directions that you won't expect, unless you've seen the movie, I suppose.
I haven't, so that should be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I actually watched this musical before I ever saw the movie, and I like the movie as well. It's a good movie, but they're very different in good ways, you know?
Yeah, sure.
We're talking about a musical, which is a format that we haven't really talked about on the show before. So I'm not going to dive too deep into like why I like the songs or anything like that. That probably is better to be talked about after we've seen it. But I will say it's kind of a rock style musical. It has some traditional like musical style songs, but it's very like rocky.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny how like, because I'm not much of a music person. Like my ability to critique music is probably summarized in the critique I'm about to give of musical music, which is they all kind of sound like there's like a musical song kind of feeling. Like you know, like all musical songs kind of sound the same. I don't know exactly what it is, but like you can just hear a song, you can be like, oh, this is probably from a musical.
Yeah, definitely. And there are some like probably the first song in Heathers is quite a lot like that. A song called "Beautiful," which is basically like summing up the backstory to the plot. the summing up the first 20 minutes of the movie song, you know. But a lot of the other songs do a lot of really cool things. And this is one of the reasons I like Heathers, and something that I like quite a lot in different musicals is when they incorporate other kind of contextual elements from their story into the way the songs work, which is an abstract description. But I'll give you an example from Heathers. One of the songs towards the end of the show, it takes place during like a pep rally, and so part of the school chanting their pep rally chant is incorporated into one of these songs as like a rhythmic element. And kind of a chorus element, and it just kind of gives it this really cool feel of like high school drama. That's one example, but there are more like that I think really tie together the kind of feel of a lot of these songs in a really cool way.
Well, I mean, I'm also I like it when they make the song part of it feel like it's actually like integrated into the rest of the sort of like world, I guess. Like I don't know, like because obviously in all musicals, you know, people aren't actually just able to jump out like that,
to burst out in song randomly.
Yeah, and like well choreographed dance. So you know, you need some sort of like fudging of reality to allow for that. But it's nice to minimize.
You need to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah. But it's nice when they can do things like incorporating that pep rally and stuff. You know, it helps it feel like the musical and the world are the same thing rather than just characters breaking off into fantasy for a few minutes. Like, I think the only other way around that would be, you know, we talked about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, how it's sort of implied that that's all just happening in her mind.
To the point where in one of the songs in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, she looks at the camera and says, "Don't worry about if this is a musical or not." Basically,
yeah, exactly,
which is great. And so Heathers does some stuff to play around with that. So obviously some songs kind of take place in the real world. Some songs kind of take place in her head, and there are elements of her kind of losing her shit. When I say her, I'm talking about the main character here. His name is Veronica Sawyer, but we'll deal with that a bit later, I guess. Some songs are like everything's kind of frozen in time, and she's just kind of walking around explaining things while everything's frozen.
So that one of those sort of it's an internal monologue but in song form
sometimes, and then sometimes it's definitely not. So it plays around with it a bit. So I guess let's talk about, for people if they want to like watch this. There are like stage recordings and stuff that you can find on YouTube of it. I don't know how legitimate they are, so I probably won't link them in the description, but you can find them pretty easily. And that's how I've seen it. I've never actually seen it performed live. I've only ever seen recordings or listened to the songs of it. So I'm excited to see it live. You and I are going to see it in a week, Elliot?
Yeah, just over a week.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous because it's like, this is my favorite musical, and we're going to see a production of it that I've never seen anything by this production company before. So we'll see. We'll see what the quality level is like. But
yeah, that's true.
We might have to talk about that in the diagnosis. Hopefully not. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's got good songs. It's very fun. One song is about these two guys singing about how this other girl makes their balls blue. That's a good song. Yeah, I guess that's all you need to know.
I don't know. I guess this is just showing that maybe I haven't seen that many musicals, but now I'm just kind of picturing Grease, which I know is like an entirely different decade, but like you know, when you say anything beginning with like 19, my mind immediately goes all the way back to Grease for some reason.
Well, this musical came out in 2010. It's based on the 1998 movie, but 98 is not like Grease era.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm stupid.
But all musicals have to either be Grease or Wicked. There's no in between. Look, Grease probably isn't the worst comparison because it's set in a high school, and it's kind of like cliquey and about that. But yeah, I mean, like Mean Girls is probably the most apt comparison to the movie for sure.
Well, that's an exciting
and the musical is
comparison.
Similar. Yeah, I guess that's all I really want to say about it until we come back and talk about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll go see it and report back.
All right. So if you guys, the audience, are getting a chance to see it, or just watching the stage recordings if you can find them, leave us your thoughts on the musical, and we will potentially talk about feedback from the audience in our diagnosis that comes out in 2 weeks about Heathers. If you want to find the links to those discussion threads, you can check out our website, which is mediamdpodcast.com. From there, you can also leave us a review on iTunes or find links to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. There's also all of the previous clues for the Media MD ARG. You can help us figure out just who is Dr. MD and why his croquet mallet's so colourful. Elliot, what's this week's clue?
Fingernail.
Fingernail. And we will see you next week.